So we are looking at using the font property in CSS to change the way our fonts look, and we're going to explore that. And if you're just dropping into this video for the first time, you can find all of our code on GitHub, goes to 11, go into repos, and then go into the HTML CSS Bootcamp repos. That's the code we're working out of. And you should also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, because I'm always tweeting about this building website stuff. And then also, you want to find the videos from all this, go to YouTube Greater Commons, and that's the channel where I post all these videos. And I call it Greater Commons because that's a website I'm building with my friends where anybody can teach, and you could sell teachings, and you could learn things, and you could take what you learn and turn it into economic opportunity, get a job. So it's kind of what we do at the community college, but in an online fashion. It's totally cool. It'll be launching soon. Check it out. So now we're going to look at using font. And I'm just going to come up to 00 temp and spring 09, spring 2017, make a new folder, 012, and call it font. And then inside that folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and we'll call it 01. And we'll just flexbox things together here. And then I'll create a HTML file index, iondex, index. And then I'm going to create a CSS folder here. And that style sheet will be called main. And then I'm going to split vertically, get that over on the right, and I'm going to link this. And that's going to be main. And sweet, we're ready to do some stuff. And so here's some text. I just want that text in the middle. And I could reset some things here. So HTML, body, H1, I'm just going to say that there's the content, and then there's padding, and that's 0, and then there's border, and then there's margin, and that's 0. And for H1, I guess I'll create a main, and then put the H1 inside the main. And I'll add the main on here. And then for the main, display flex, and then flex direction is row, which means my primary axis is horizontal. So justify content is the horizontal centering, and align items operates on the cross axes, and so that's going to be vertical centering. And I forgot flex wrap. No wrap, that's the default. I don't need to set it, but we're just learning this, so we will. And if you ever see flex flow, that's shorthand for each of those. Row, no wrap. Flex flow, row, no wrap. And so now that should be centered in the middle of the page. Welcome to paradise. It's like the saying I like to say. And if we look at this, what did I forget? I need to have my main will be height 100 VH. 100 viewport height is how much space my main takes up. And so now that should, the whole page. Welcome to paradise. Nice. Nice. So nice. Nice. How many people, when you see that, you're like, bam, got it. Loving it. Like you watch me do that, and you could do that. How many people? How many people are still like, I understand it, but not quite there yet to doing it? Cool. So there's the welcome to paradise. And now we can start playing with font. And so H1, and I could say font family. Okay, and my font family, I have some settings that come up here. And so I could, if I go and I look at the documentation, font family, I could see that the values are family name or generic name. I could just say serif or sans serif. So I'm going to first do font size, and I'll set that to 5 rem. What does rem tell you? In pixels, how big is this font going to be if I say 5 rem? What is your guess for the size of this font in pixels if I say 5 rem? This is a bonus Jeopardy question. Somebody tell me. Yes, 80. Why? Right. Most browsers have a default font size of 16 pixels, which is the root size of HTML. Right? And so 5 times, and rem is root element. What's my root element font size? It's 16, so 5 of those, 5 times 16 is 80. Okay? And you could go into your browser settings, and you could find in your settings, right, here's where I change the font size of my browser, and you'll see it's 16 pixels probably. So that's going to be 80 pixels. And then font family, I could just do sans serif. And now when I look at this, welcome to paradise, sans serif. If I change that to serif, right, I now have feet. I'm going to bring that up to 6 rem, 8 rem. So that's now serif. Or I could go back to sans serif. Fonts have an incredible impact on the look and feel of your website. Fonts are huge. And so we're looking at font family first. We'll look at font size next because I got more to show to you about font size. But font family, sans serif. Fonts have a huge impact. The best thing you could do for fonts is Google Fonts. And we've already seen this, but I'm just going to show it to you again because y'all are new. And here they are sorted by trending. I could also sort by popular. Roboto is the most popular font on the web. Now there's 2 things you should always think about when you're looking at group decision making. One thing is you should think about the principle that many minds lead to better solutions. There's a lot of evidence that backs that up. Many minds lead to better solutions. There's also research that says groupthink, that many minds could sometimes get trapped in, seeing things only a certain way and make the wrong decision. And then finally, the last thing is like, well, maybe this became popular because it's the first kid on the block and everybody used it, but there's actually better choices out there. And then the final thing you'll think about, at least for me, is people like that which they know. They like the familiar, right? Put somebody in an unfamiliar environment and they're going to be anxious to varying degrees, depending upon the environment, how unfamiliar it is. Put somebody in a familiar environment, even if it's a crappy environment, and they'll feel like they're at home, if that's what their home environment was like. It's familiar to them. And it's like, okay, I understand this is like a really crappy environment, but I understand the game here. I'm comfortable. So all that said is like, you're pretty good going with the most popular fonts in the world. So Roboto, Open Sans, Lotto, and you can choose different ones here. Right? So if I went with handwriting fonts, the most popular handwriting is Indie Flower. But you can look at these to see what look are you going for. So maybe Dancing Script. And so I add that right there. Once it's added, I could come down here and click on this, and I could see, okay, this is how I put it into my CSS. So I just grab that, and I come up here, and there's a new link. So it's going to go grab that. But I better grab that before I use it. So drop it down, right? Grab it first. CSS is read top to bottom. And then the next thing I'm going to do is use it. And I'm going to put that right here. And so now it's font family, Dancing Script. That's the font name. So you could do the family name, and then you could do the generic name, which in this case is cursive. And I'm going to create a new folder here and call this one O2 Font Family, because that's what we're exploring right now. And just close everything and reopen it. And this one I'm just going to pull out this stuff, because we were only looking at getting that dialed in on the center of the page there, and pull out that one. Cool. So now I have the font family, Dancing Script, and when I run this, I get a different look. Like, right? A really different feel. And which one do you like? Like, you could almost picture like the vibe of what you're going to get if you buy from this travel company, right? Like, it's a younger, I get younger from that. I get, I don't know, what else do you all get from that?
seem more mellowed out.
Right? So font is huge. Font family is huge for getting the feel of your website. Like you'll spend a lot of time, what's the right font for this feel, for the feel of the website I'm building. And you could experiment with it and do like A/B testing, kind of a deal. Excuse me. So this one is it's dancing script. And you could do Roboto. Okay, so like that's happier. It's Coca-Cola, right? It's a little bit more whimsical. It's more relaxed, somebody said. But you just put up the different looks and you just kind of like try them out. And which one do I like? And you could even come here to Google Fonts. Watch this. And featured about, well, that's not what I want. I guess you have to go into the font. Where do you change the text? Oh, right here. Just type on it. All right, so we just do them all. All right, you can kind of start seeing what they look like here. We'll apply to all fonts. There we go. Isn't that cool? And I actually like this one the best. Like there's sort of a 1920s feel to that for me. So I would stick with Dancing Script. So you all feel it with Font Family? So I want you to use Dancing Script, get Welcome to Paradise on your screen, put it in the center, and then drop a background image behind it with an attachment fixed, background attachment fixed, and you know, get that going. Okay? So you could code.